Welcome to this edition of ONME Sunday Mornings. This edition of ONME Sunday Mornings has been brought to you by Don't Face the Law by Yourself. Call lawyers ASAP. With over 30 years of experience advocating for clients, get the most favorable outcome for your case. Call 1-888-524-6018, 1-888-524-6018. And welcome to ONME Sunday Mornings. My name is Julia Najieb, along with
Lennice Najieb.
And we'd like to welcome you to this edition where we talk about the local news, California news, national news, and all the greatest things that are happening that are great debate topics. In fact, you had a great debate that you're going to be having with DJ Georgia Peach and also Woodz, right? How do I say the name? I want to make sure I get the name
D-Woodz.
right. D-Woodz, okay? With a Z. I know you said that.
Yes, D-Woodz.
And those are going to be some interesting topics because you're talking about James Brown, the movie that just came out, grossed over $14 million.
Yes, first day.
And the other topic was dealing with?
It was dealing with NWA.
Okay, we can't say the initials of that on the air, but people know what NWA, Ice Cube, and Eazy-E, what that group stood for.
Dr. Dre.
And Dr. Dre,
yes.
what the group stood for. And so it's very interesting was being able to talk to a younger generation about those topics. I mean, James Brown is sampling all the songs all the time. Moving on. So anyways, this week does revolve around entertainment topics. And after we talk about those local news and national news items, we'll go right into those topics. In order to recognize the trailblazers that are coming up, every month we like to recognize our trailblazers. Last month we had Omi Comier, and we also had Woody Miller. Make sure you submit that on our site. If you go to www.amptvnow.com, you will see a place where you can submit that trailblazer from throughout the Central Valley. Doesn't matter whether it's Fresno, Merced, Madera, Tulare, throughout the Central Valley is where you can submit that. Also, if you want to submit local news and information about what's happening in and around you that is definitely affecting the African American community and the Central Valley community, you can go to or email us at media@AMPTV Now, media@AMPTVnow.com, or go to our website and there's a submission form there as well. Some of the local news, I know we don't have an update on Gaston Middle School, but as soon as we get the update, we want to give you more insight on that. That seems to be going back and forth. There's a lot of comments going back and forth on the internet that it's a given. Now there's a split in the community, which is what we were concerned about.
Yes. It's a split in the community where people don't know where to stand and where to go from because they have lack of information and they don't know what to do at this point. So they had arms. But
they did like that Darren Miller and Chris Finley really explained details that were not explored before. Them coming from an educational background, coming from the community, gave a better understanding of the middle school and the issue, which was not with the teacher, but with the concerns of being able to have a teacher that represented the population of the school.
Yes, a lot of times what we need is role models. And they went into and elaborate the positive part of having role models to represent themselves and represent the student at large.
And if you want to find more information about that, you can go to our past episode by going to onmetv.amptv now. You can always watch all of our past episodes of this show on metv.amptv now by going to our player. So every Monday we have the new episode that's already up. Also, you can watch on our Roku channel. We do have that channel that's up and running, or mobile, live.amptv now. Other local news, we want to congratulate Marie Bird Harris, who is the new Dean of Instruction at Reedley College. Very hard worker. And she's always been there for the students.
Yes, I see her all the time, really taking the time to watch exactly what they're doing and focus mainly on helping them achieve their goals.
And that's what I like. The whole thing you said about achieving their goals and making sure that instruction as well is finite, and that there is an instructional staff that is up to par, or I want to say up to speed with the student now, because now you got to be up with the technology, and it's all about what's best for the student. And so she really prides herself on that. We want to congratulate her,
yes,
as on that new position. We know that she did a fine job. Yeah, definitely congratulations to Marie Bird Harris, hard worker. Totally deserves it. And totally under 30, or under 40, I'll say. Not under 30, but under 40. So a young person in that position is only going to do the best for Reedley College. So they have a treasure on their hands. So that's part of our local news as well. Also, local election deadline, as far as being able to file, that deadline just passed August 8th. And Valley Black Talk Radio is going to be doing the election specials that are coming up these next few months. And so it'll be interesting to see the Fresno Unified School Board race, State Center Community College. There's some other local races too that we're looking forward to, and seeing how those pan out. We're going to hear more about those from our Valley Black Talk radio host that will be joining us to handle those segments. I guess we'll get to our national news topics. One of the things that we should let people know is that the Eric Gardner death was ruled a homicide by New York City medical examiner. According to the article, it also said that it was an illegal chokehold that was used. So this is something that a lot of people that were watching Eric Garner, who died at the age of 43, even though he had asthma issues and obesity issues, the fact that it was an illegal chokehold that they do not use, according to NYPD, they're not supposed to use that, and it was used. This was a big deal for the mother that felt a sense of relief, the family that's feeling a sense of relief, and I know Al Sharpton is always somewhere in the middle there. They're going to be doing some things there in the community to discuss their outrage and saying that this can't continue. Another interesting topic that I found, and it was by Henry Louis Gates Jr., and this is coming from The Root. This article that somebody wrote him a letter saying, "I'm white, but tests show I have East African DNA. How is that?" And it's interesting how Henry Louis Gates Jr. explains to this individual how it happens. It's about finding ancestry, finding that we all have African ancestry. It shouldn't be as shocking as people might think it is. And we're showing the pictures up there of the tribe that he's referring to. And this person says, "I'm very much a white person with no family oral history to suggest otherwise, except the obligatory Native American ancestor stories, which don't pan out. However, when I had a test done for myself by Ancestry DNA, my results came back with around, I guess, 1%, right? 1% African DNA. When painting my chromosomes to visually highlight relevant areas, I found a moderate-sized segment that comes up Sub-Sahara African in all data sets, about 7 to 8 centimorgans or so." And Louis Gates Jr. responds and explains that it's a little bit more than that. And he says that the transatlantic slave trade database did not go that far as where he was referring to the Sub-Sahara. And so he said most likely that his roots are actually from the roots of the American slave trade, because it didn't span as far as to Southeast Africa and a few Indian Ocean islands between 1601 and 1866. Wow. So it's very interesting that that individual who, claims himself as a white person is actually from this era of slavery, which we talk about later in the program. Me and Lennice have a deep discussion about American slavery and finding that we're all connected in a strange way. You'll have to watch more to find that out. Meanwhile, I want to get to Black Enterprise report about the survey. African Americans face financial challenges yet remain positive. What are some of the thoughts what are some of the things you found in that article that stood out the most?
Well, one of the things that stood out the most that I saw in that article was a lot of the African American households are frustrated. They are drowning in debt. They're drowning. If this economy breakdown that happened recently is hitting the African American community very, very hard. Okay, to where they are dealing with unemployment, underemployment, and just flat out just out of it. So they are in dismay and trying to figure out a solution to their financial situation.
So some of those statistics are the following. African Americans still believe in the American dream. About 28% of respondents say they believe the American dream is disappearing, compared with 40% of the general population who believe the American dream is harder to achieve. That's
Harder to achieve.
harder to achieve.
You say 48%?
40%.
Oh. Okay.
So 28% believe the American dream is disappearing, and then 48% believe that the American dream is harder to achieve. That's half glass empty all the way around, isn't it? The glass is half empty all the way around. And that's scary. And then it says, in addition, nearly 7 in 10 do not want to burden their children with having to take care of them during their golden years. And debt remains an obstacle. It says 3/4 have a mortgage that is underwater, with nearly 30% owing more on their home than it's worth. Common problem, isn't it? That we'll definitely have to talk about on another program and go in depth with that. Well, after the break, we're going to get into those topics that we discussed in regards to the NWA, or I think what's first, you're going to be talking about James Brown,
Yes,
the film.
James Brown.
And after that, they'll get into the NWA outrage with Universal Studios, total outrage for everyone. And also, we'll follow up with a lengthy discussion with myself and Lennice in regards to Nina Simone and the Zoe Saldana controversy. Stay tuned. You are watching ONME Sunday Mornings. We'll be right back.
Happy lives that can change in an instant. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, it can shatter your life. If you're currently in a lawsuit but need money right away, can you afford to wait years for your suit to settle? Now you can get the money you need in as little as 24 hours from Oasis Legal Finance. You may have medical bills, rent to pay, car payments, even simple day-to-day expenses. You need help now. At Oasis, there are no out-of-pocket fees, no payments until your case settles, and no obligation to repay if you do lose your case. So there's absolutely no risk. Call Oasis right now to see how much money you could get before your case settles. Once approved, Oasis can get you your cash in as little as 24 hours. The sooner you call, the sooner you can start putting your life back together.
Don't wait. Call Oasis Legal Finance at 1-800-326-9772 right now.
Visit Salam Seafoods, located on 841 F Street in Fresno, California, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 6 p.m. Stop by Yogurt Etc. Great dessert, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., located on 2311 Kern Street. The Handyman Service Center is the largest in the Valley. With no long-term contracts, the Handyman Service Center handles from general engineering to general building and specializes in small jobs such as fencing, fire damage, roofing, floor covering, plumbing, painting, air and heating, and much more. Call your trusted Handyman Service Center today at 559-307-9595, 559-307-9595. Handyman Service Center is a member of the Better Business Bureau.
You never know when, but thieves can steal your identity and turn your life upside down.
Hi.
Hi. You know, I can save you 15% today if you open up a charge card account with us.
You just read my mind.
Just one little piece of information, and they can steal your credit, your money, and ruin your reputation. That's why you need LifeLock to help stop crooks before your identity is attacked. And now you can have the most comprehensive identity theft protection available today. LifeLock Ultimate. So for protection you just can't get anywhere else, get LifeLock Ultimate.
Call 1-800-748-6976 or go to lifelock.com and try LifeLock Protection risk-free for 60 days. No risk means there is no reason to wait another minute. Use promo code COVER. Get LifeLock Protection risk-free for 60 days. Protect what you've earned. Call 1-800-748-6976. Use promo code COVER.
AMPTV is proud to bring you a combined effort of all the black media sources in the Valley on CBS 47, Sundays at 6 a.m., right before the CBS 47 news. Let us be your source for what's happening in the black community. Sundays at 6 a.m., right before the CBS 47 news.
AMPTV can now be watched on TV anytime through our Roku channel or on your computer online at amptvnow.com. Better yet, go mobile, live.amptvnow.com. Good morning. Welcome to ONME Sunday Morning. My name is Lennice Najieb. I'm here with DJ Georgia Peach and also D-Woodz. Can you guys, as guest host, share with me your musical backgrounds?
Want to go first, Peach?
Sure. I'm DJ Georgia Peach. I am from right here, Fresno, California, and I'm the official DJ for D-Woodz, an artist straight out of Fresno, California, as well, or Chowchilla.
My name is D-Woodz, out of Chowchilla, California. Been rapping for a couple years, man. Just signed up with Team Network. Got the new music out, new mixtape, White Boy Wasted. Go download it on Dat Piff. The meaning of this right here, a lot of people get misconstrued on it. Think it's all about getting faded and getting messed up, but it's actually being wasted in the music.
Thank you. We're here to talk about what's going on with James Brown, Godfather of Soul, the new movie that just came out that grossed, $14 million? Get on up. We was reading some articles, and we've been listening to what's the controversy that's happening out there concerning producers, directors, and also writers in particular are all white. Every single one that produced that movie. What are your intake, or what are your thoughts on that?
You know, to be honest, I was looking forward to go check it out. I'm excited to see what it's about. You know, my parents grew, you know, growing up, my parents listened to a lot of James Brown, so, you know, like, I loved it. I loved him growing up. I want to just see what the movie is. As far as, you know, you said no black folks writing didn't have anything to do with writing or the production of it. I don't know, you know. I really don't know how to take it. To be honest, I don't know how to take it, you know.
I think if who's ever calling the shots and who's ever, you know, making things happen, as long as they had an in-depth look on James Brown and his career and kind of know a little bit of background on it, I think that's all that really matters. Because I think, you know, just how we were talking before, maybe a little authenticity might be lost with it, but at the same time, I think if there was a white person that was by James Brown by his side, saw some of his lowest points, some of his highest points, I really don't think the color of skin matters.
Here locally in Fresno, the California Advocate used to do some business with James Brown. He was one. He would fly out from all over the country to come to Fresno because Fresno at the California Advocate was the only black press all the way around because he saw the discrepancy black doing business with black.
And this is James Brown?
Yes, James Brown. That's correct. I'm black and I'm proud. So by him mentioning that particular song, I'm black and I'm proud, I remember, and it came out in 1968, people was just coming out from all over the place, bumping it on their stereos, just everywhere, you know, singing it outside, that chanting. So
what they used to call him? They used to call him like the
Godfather of Soul. The Godfather of Soul.
Huh?
Yeah, he's the Godfather of Soul, a true icon.
Yeah.
And the only African Americans that came on to it, from my understanding, was maybe a few weeks after the camera started rolling.
You know, just like I said, I think at the end of the day, the one common goal is to get James Brown's story out there. Mm-hmm. So I mean, at the end of the day, I think there is still a lot of light being shed on the African American community. And you know, it does may lose a little bit of authenticity because there isn't a lot of black people on there. But I think at the end of the day, as long as it's a good movie and it tells his story the way that it should be told, I think that's all that matters.
Yeah, but one other aspect also is, you know, they have 50 other projects in Hollywood that's related to African American icons like Richard Pryor. They have 3 movies coming out, projects with them. Also with Martin Luther King, also with civil rights. With all 50 of those projects going, there's only maybe 1 or 2 writers for that, black writers for that. So there is no African American representation in writing, and directing and also in producing as much.
Why do you think so? Why do you think there's not?
I think they're qualified. I know there's a lot of them out there, but they're not being hired to represent our icons in that fashion. To our audience, we're going back to you on ONME Sunday Morning. My name is Lennice Najieb. We'll be back. Thank you. AMPTV can now be watched on TV anytime through our Roku channel or on your computer online at amptvnow.com. Better yet, go mobile, live.amptvnow.com.
I'm looking for a new adventure. When Jesus comes again, you know that he's coming back. He'll take us out of this world, rise at his command. Get up, wait for us in eternity, with the mansions in his house, on heaven's streets and in his light, we will walk about, singing glory, hallelujah. I'm in love with the Lord.
Let me tell you some of the reasons people get into trouble with credit cards. A job loss or salary cut, an unexpected expense, a divorce, a business loss, or even helping a family member or friend in need. At Consolidated Credit, we understand that debt problems are not about overspending. It's about emergencies and unexpected situations. Consolidated Credit has helped over 5 million people, just like you. The options for getting out of debt have never been better. We can reduce your interest rates, cut your monthly payments, and help you get out of debt fast. The time to call Consolidated Credit is now. There are a lot of ways to get into trouble with debt. There's only one trusted way to get out: Consolidated Credit. When debt is the problem, we're the solution.
Call Consolidated Credit now.
Call 800-990-8939. That's 800-990-8939.
Watts Family Grill has the best ribs, chicken, and tri-tip in the valley. From delicious desserts to healthy side salads or homemade waffles, let Watts Family Grill satisfy your hunger. For fulfilling meals, stop by Watts Family Grill, located on 1448 North Blackstone in Fresno, California. Open Monday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Bad judgment? It happens. Don't face the law by yourself. Call Lawyers ASAP. With over 30 years of experience advocating for clients, get the most favorable outcome for your case. 1-888-524-6018. 1-888-524-6018.
Now we're back with ONME Sunday Morning. My name is Lennice Najieb. I'm here with DJ Georgia Peach and also D-Woodz. Welcome again. Okay. Now, back in the day when we was talking about James Brown and everything, music was based on a movement. You know, I'm black and I'm proud. What aspect of music has it changed from the 60s maybe to the 70s until today, the 2000s?
I think music has changed a little bit, but I think at the end of the day, it's still about you know, who you are and what you believe in, and you know, it's personal nowadays, just like I was back in the day. And going back to James Brown, he actually kind of brought the wave in for the hip hop. Like you said, he was the godfather of soul, right? So I know now it's like, you know, with like the 90s, especially in hip hop, it was every decade has its own type of get down. So like the 90s was straight gangster rap, you know, and now, especially in hip hop, it's more like doing what you love. And once people see that you're doing what you love and kind of, they believe it, you know what I mean? More like a lifestyle.
What about in your music, what do people really gravitate towards?
My music, you know, I just try to keep it. I know everybody says this, and I'm gonna be the next one to say it too. But I really believe that everybody, when they listen to my music, I don't rap about nothing that's fake. I don't rap about nothing I don't have, nothing I haven't done, nothing I haven't seen. I mean, I just try to keep it as authentic. And when people hear it, I want them to hear me like as if they're talking to me. You know, like they know me on a personal level. Actually, one of my little homies, he said, he's like, man, you know, you're coming up now, and you haven't changed at all. You haven't changed one bit. And I just want people to feel like they're talking to me when they listen to my music. Mm-hmm. That believe factor, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. As for me, you know, I feel, you know, when it goes from back in the day to now, as a DJ, you know, I don't rap or anything like that, but as a DJ, I feel it's the same thing, you know. I'm telling a story with my hands, you know. It's no different than how James Brown was telling his story, you know. I just feel like now, you know, with our coming up now, we don't have a filter. So we're more cutthroat with it now, I feel like.
And the media gets to them a lot quicker.
Yeah, so me being a DJ here in Fresno, I like to work with artists like D-Woodz who tell their story and keep it 100.
That's one thing, that's pretty good. A female DJ, that's rare.
Yeah, so it's...
She's good at what she do, too.
Yeah, I work real hard at what I do. You know, I use my hands to tell a story. It's not no different.
It's kind of like,
not on the mic. I'm just
you know, like the Run DMC and you know with the.
That's what I'm trying to bring back.
What's the program they use now? Virtual DJ.
That's what they. I use Serato. He might use virtual DJ.
So you just raw records, just raw.
I still use vinyl. It's time coded vinyl now. Everything is digital. You know, and we're in the digital world now. But I still, you know, get my practice in with vinyl, you know, pure vinyl, stuff like that. Yeah, I still do that. I'm really known out here for my mixtapes. If you check me out on Facebook at DJ Georgia Peach, there's a link to my mix crate where it's different genres, you know, reggae, hip hop, top 40s, just a whole bunch of.
Well, thank you for joining Sunday morning. ONME Sunday Morning. My name is Lennice Najieb. We'll be back.
AMPTV is proud to bring you a combined effort of all the black media sources in the Valley on CBS 47, Sundays at 6 a.m., right before the CBS 47 news. Let us be your source for what's happening in the black community. Sundays at 6 a.m., right before the CBS 47 news. Bad accident, it happens when you least expect it. The aftermath of serious injury can lead to your financial downfall. Don't face the law by yourself. Call lawyers ASAP. With over 30 years of experience advocating for clients, get the most favorable outcome for your case. Call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to 1-888-524-6018. 1-888-524-6018.
AMPTV can now be watched on TV anytime through our Roku channel or on your computer online at amptvnow.com. Better yet, go mobile, live.amptvnow.com. We're going to be talking about life insurance and how it affects the African American community.
A lot of things are affected by not having life insurance. A lot of people are facing bankruptcy because of soaring healthcare bills that they couldn't afford to pay. But if they had life insurance and a proper plan, then a lot of these costs that are affecting people financially and creating those hardships can be avoided. You know, at least a funeral cost is $7,555. And if you do a car wash at $5 a car wash, then that's about 1,500 cars. That's a lot of cars. And
AMPTV is proud to bring you a combined effort of all the black media sources in the Valley. Stay up or set your DVR for AMPTV programming on KC24 from 1 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. Let us be your source for what's happening in the black community. Saturday at 1 a.m. on KC24.
AMPTV can now be watched on TV anytime through our Roku channel or on your computer online at amptvnow.com. Better yet, go mobile, live.amptvnow.com.
AMPTV is proud to bring you a combined effort of all the black media sources in the Valley on CBS 47, Sundays at 6 a.m., right before the CBS 47 news. Let us be your source for what's happening in the black community. Sundays at 6 a.m., right before the CBS 47 news.
Welcome back. This is Lennice Najieb on ONME Sunday Mornings. And now we're going to be going into the topics of NWA and the controversy surrounding that with our guest host of Georgia Peach and also D-Woodz. A little bit of background about the NWA. They have a controversy that's going into the casting call of young women. They put them in categories of A, B, C, D. The lighter you are, the most hotter you are, the most beautiful you are at an A. The darker you are, the most ugly you are, or the most poor you are, you at a D. In between, they said the model of Beyonce is at a B, and then at C, it's kind of an average type of girl, you know, I say young lady, somewhat fair skin, but the lighter A, darker D. What do you guys' insight on NWA controversy as far as the categorizing of the females that's going on in Hollywood?
Well, I personally think I'm an A. No. No. No, I'm just kidding.
So what about if, say it's a beautiful girl, okay? She's got a good figure, and she's dark. But there's a light girl who's, let's say, plus-size model, and she's ugly. Would she still be an A?
She would be probably around, I say maybe the C range.
The C?
Yeah, because she's light-skinned, and according to their standards, the light ones would be C.
Their standards say the light skin makes up for the actual ugliness.
Basically, that's what they say. But the dark skin, she definitely hit that D category. You know what I mean? And I don't know.
Even if she's who's a real dark skin model, Naomi Campbell. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So she would be a D.
She would be a D.
Really?
Might be a C though. She might go up to C, but I'm thinking she'll be a D based on the color aspects of it and based on their criteria.
So they're segregating completely off skin color.
Basically. What do you know about, how does MWA, the background of that, what do you, because I know that's the history and what you guys dealing with hip-hop.
Founding fathers of hip-hop, those guys. I mean, you look at people like Dr. Dre, he just signed a multi-billion-dollar deal with Apple for headphones. I mean, he's almost larger than life in the hip-hop community. We talked about Tupac, Snoop Dogg. He was a very key role in all of their careers. So definitely an NWA was the start of it all.
You forgot to mention Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, of course, yeah, definitely.
Eazy-E.
Dr. Dre was right there with all of them.
What's your expectation?
I feel like it's a lot going on in the world. You know, I just feel like, you know, with that situation, it's just messy to me. It sounds messy to me. It sounds childish. It sounds, man, you wasting time categorizing these women when you could be getting the work done already. You know, you could be working on the film already, and you're too busy working.
When they did the casting calls for the NWA for those particular women there, how you imagine those women feel?
You know, I'd imagine that they might feel a little bad, but at the same time, this is show business, and if they need a certain type of girl for that type of role, then that's what they get.
What about the light-skinned girl? She coming in there beautiful. She coming in there beautiful, fine, and they giving, and we didn't even talk about the monies that they getting. Do the D women get a certain amount of money compared to the A category woman, and a B and a C? So is it ranked?
I think if they need that D girl for a certain role, for an influential part of the film, then you never know. She might be getting as paid as much.
Once again, I feel like this is just wasting time. They could be getting the work done, and you know, like he said, it's at the end of the day,
it's show business.
It's business. It is. You know, I deal with the same politics here. Me being a female DJ.
Now, my question is, what are the challenges for you as a female DJ in this hip hop world?
This is a everyday struggle. You know, like when I signed up for this, I didn't think of what those things. I didn't think of those things. But it's very tough out here. It's really tough. But you know, I still think, you know, every day I have to remind myself why I'm doing it. It's because I love to DJ. But it's hard out here. It's really hard. You know, I do have to. This is a male-driven industry. Music industry is male-driven. You can probably, if I give you 10 seconds, you're not gonna be able to come up with 5 female DJs. You know, so it's hard. It's really hard fighting these guys out here. It's not easy, but you know, I stick with it. I'm not giving up. You're gonna see more Georgia Peach. I'm not going nowhere.
Well, now where did that name Georgia Peach come from?
I was named after my grandmother. Never been to Georgia, never even been around it. But I was named after my grandmother. I was born 2 days after her. So after her, she's the 16th and I'm the 18th in February. So.
And D-Woodz, where'd that come from?
My name is Dylan Wood. And when I first started rapping, well, actually when I was playing football in high school, my coach, he would call me D-Wood. And then I kind of went with that, and then I was rapping with this group called the Hotheads out here, Fresno right here. And they started calling me D-Woodz with the Z. And they always spelled it Hottheadz. So after I kind of, you know, we stopped doing the whole Hotheads thing, I just kind of kept that Z to kind of, you know, show them respect, because there was a lot of growing pains with them.
Thank you for joining us for Sunday Morning on Me. My name is Lennice Najieb. My guest host, D-Woodz, and also Georgia Peach.
Go cop that White Boy Wasted on Dat Piff.
I'll see you on Facebook.
Let me tell you some of the reasons people get into trouble with credit cards. A job loss or salary cut, an unexpected expense. Consolidated Credit helped over 5 million people just like you. We can reduce your interest rates, cut your monthly payments, and help you get out of debt fast. The time to call Consolidated Credit is now. When debt is the problem, we are the solution.
Call Consolidated Credit now.
Call 800-923-4772. That's 800-923-4772.
Before our follow-up comments, we want to make sure you get a chance to hear our expert of the week. Our ONME expert is featuring Marshawn Govan of MKG Insurance Agency.
Welcome to the ONME Sunday Morning Show, here with expert segment. My name is Lennice Najieb. I'm here to introduce you to Marshawn Govan. He's also the MKG Insurance Agency founder. Welcome.
Thank you for inviting me on the show today.
We're going to be talking about life insurance and how it affects the African American community. Can you give me some insight on that?
Well, Lenny, life insurance has been around for hundreds of years, and it's basically one of the most necessity that most people need, because a lot of things are affected by not having life insurance. A lot of people are facing bankruptcy because of soaring healthcare bills that they couldn't afford to pay. But if they had life insurance and a proper plan, then a lot of these costs that are affecting people financially and creating those hardships can be avoided, and life insurance can take care of those needs by protecting their family and also their assets.
Now, for the ones that just don't believe in life insurance, they just living life, going to eat out, celebrating, and paying all the other bills, and they don't feel that life insurance is a necessity. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I call that those invincibles, because they don't think that that they need a life insurance, or they don't look at the, when they get older, that when they start, body's starting to get older, that they need to go see the doctor, that those things aren't, of a concern for them. But they do need to have life insurance, because if something was to happen to them, then they're putting a hardship on their family, their mothers, their kids. How do they want their kids to grow up? Do they want to put their kids through college, or do they want to continue to, create a cycle where they're going through life struggling, instead of planting those seeds that reap a harvest where their kids can grow up and have everything taken care of for them?
Well, what about the ones that's outside, doing the car washes?
At least a funeral cost is $7,555, And if you do a car wash at $5 a car wash, then that's about 1,500 cars. That's a lot of cars, and most people are going to generate, just donate out of generosity and sympathy. And most people don't have to have that sympathy card given to them if they were just to take that responsibility.
This wraps up our first segment with expert Marshawn Govine. We'll be back to talk about health and cover California and also some more life insurance.
Find out more how you can be an ONME expert. Go to onmebiz.amptv now. That's onmebiz.amptv now and become an ONME expert today. Welcome back to ONME Sunday Mornings. We've been doing our debates segment, Lennice, and it's been interesting listening to the younger people talk about their perspective with James Brown, NWA, and now I want to talk about Nina Simone. And I figured they wouldn't know too much about her, so we want to make sure we talked about it and some of the controversies with that. And Nina Simone, her name was originally, or she was born with the name of Eunice Kathleen Wayman. And as you know, a lot of times in the industry, they change the name so that people will feel more comfortable with a common name or a star quality name. And she was born back in 1933. She died at the age of 70, natural causes, and in 2003, April 2003, in the south of France. Now, why is the Nina Simone movie called Nina such a controversy? And this is the movie that screenplay was written by Cynthia Mort, and in fact there's a lawsuit out. The reason why there's so much controversy is because the title role that's being played, who's playing Nina Simone, is Zoe Saldana. And I know we've shown pictures of Zoe Saldana on the screen, but as you look at her, Zoe Saldana does not quite match the flavorful character of Nina Simone. And there's other controversies with the Nina Simone portrayal of how Zoe Saldana plays her, and some of the comments that she said has created a big rift on the internet and a lot of comments that were going back and forth. And they're pretty valid. And so I'll be reading some of those comments to you, and you can tell me what you think and your thoughts on all the controversy, because we've been talking about controversy on that. We talked about NWA, right? Light skin, dark skin issue. And women, all women being categorized. And we've talked about this before with Lupita Nyong'o, 12 Years a Slave. And, the whole issue with James Brown, unfortunately, it's still on the issue of color, but now we're talking about specifically with women. Why does this continue, you think, and this from a male perspective, to be a common theme, a common problem that we keep on dealing with? We keep hearing the same story over and over again when it comes to skin tone, whether it's this generation, the generation before that, or the generation before that.
But still,
and they're not African American.
They still have that slave mentality, that slave
But
mindset.
now it's becoming a stereotype. So slave mentality to whom? Who has the slave mentality in your opinion?
Well, the executives there, the ones that have the high-paid positions, the owners. It's deep into the owners, as we mentioned with the NBA, with the
NWA.
Well, not NWA.
Oh, you're talking about NBA.
I'm talking about the NBA.
NBA, okay.
The gentleman David.
Don Sterling.
Sterling. Excuse me, Don Sterling. He give us a good, clear example just with his recordings and his message of what the slave mentality is like. And that same mentality is deep into the Hollywood executives with Universal Studios.
So this is ironic that you say that, and I don't want to get off topic, but it's very interesting because now it looks like it's a societal woe. When you have other people that are telling black people that slavery happened a long time ago, those were my ancestors, I didn't do that. Sometimes I'll hear that often. Or why are we not able to get over those issues? But what you're saying right now, essentially, is that society has not gotten over the issue of slavery and has to heal from that. That's what you're saying when you make that statement.
Well, if you think about it, we was enslaved for 400 years. 400 years. How are you going to get over that type of slavery, the African American male went through, and female? So
Well, the way you get over it is talking about it and being able to have an understanding, like we talk about cultural understanding. And I think the biggest issues are the continuation of what happened today, the continuation of issues that are still rising in communities because of a color. Not as big when you go to Europe and other places, when you're talking about skin tone and issues of color, but when in the United States, it's still ingrained, it's deep there, where you still might have, unfortunately, grandparents or parents that are teaching their kids a certain way about skin tone and about color. And then you have the same type of racism even within the African American community, light skin, dark skin. So we have even our own issues within our community that have to be healed and work past that. But as a society, when you've made the statement, like when you're saying Don Sterling has his issues, there are other people like him that have the same issues. So slavery is really not about just collectively as an African American experience. I'm looking at as an American experience, we haven't really dealt with the issue or gotten over it or gotten through it or found a way to resolve it so that the people like me and you have, how have we gotten past that? How have we any reparations or any type of condolence or sorry or anything like that? I think that's what's missing.
But it has to start somewhere. It has to start even with this channel, or even with a group of students, or even with one person at a time. You have to start somewhere, and it evolves and grow into something even bigger. But if we just say, recognizing the problem, and we just looking at the problem, just recognizing the problem, it is not going to go. Yeah, it's always going to be there. We have to say, okay, what can I do? What can I do, me, myself, to help my part in making it better, one project at a time?
And it goes back to the story I talked about at the beginning of the segment in our local national news, talking about Black enterprise. And one of the survey questions happened to be about the American dream, as far as how do African Americans feel about the American dream. And a lot of them are feeling very despondent. They're feeling like it doesn't exist for them. It doesn't exist in their world. Well, technically, that American dream is supposed to be for everyone, and I think that part is missing. But after the break, I guess we got to get back to the Nina Simone, finish up with what that American dreams, as far as the Black experience, really means. You are watching ONME Sunday Mornings with Julia Najieb and Lennice Najieb. We will be right back after this short break.
AMPTV is proud to bring you a combined effort of all the Black media sources in the Valley. Stay up or set your DVR for AMPTV programming on KC24 from 1 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. Let us be your source for what's happening in the Black community. Saturday at 1 a.m. on KC24.
We're going to be talking about life insurance and how it affects the African American community.
A lot of things are affected by not having life insurance. A lot of people are facing bankruptcy because of soaring healthcare bills that they couldn't afford to pay. But if they had life insurance and a proper plan, then a lot of these costs that are affecting people financially and creating those hardships can be avoided. You know, at least a funeral cost is $7,555. And if you do a car wash at $5 a car wash, then that's about 1,500 cars. That's a lot of cars. And
And we're back. You are watching ONME Sunday Mornings. My name is Julia Najieb, along with
Lennice Najieb.
We were just talking about the Black experience in regards to American Dream, and also going back to Nina Simone, because we're talking about the character Zoe Saldana playing that role. And I want to read some comments about that after you wrap up what you were saying about the Black experience in American Dream.
Well, you're looking at 75% of the African American are drowning in debt as far as can't afford their mortgage. You know, it's
underwater.
It's bad.
It's not even the same value.
Yes, it's at all. So they go in and pay. They go into work. They pay their bills, and they are never coming out of that situation. And they trying to save their credit. And it's another form of slavery if you think about it. You know, it's another form of slavery.
As far as how the system is set up, but then that would be for everyone in the American experience, though. Exactly. I'm talking specifically with the Black experience. Why is it so grim? It's one answer I can give you, but I
They
wanna
don't
see-
have the. They're not having the same opportunities. It's not the same opportunities. Access
Some would
to
argue
capital.
and say that's incorrect, that there's opportunities more. Some would argue and say that your president, very own president, happens to be African American, President Barack Obama.
Well, look at all of the past shows that we've done. I mean, out of the whole Fresno Unified School District, which is the third largest school district in California, not one African American principal.
And 3% African Americans, in fact, in the teaching staff. 3% is pretty low when you're looking
Yes.
at, the dynamics and
That's not even,
demographics of
that's
Fresno.
not even counting for city college level and at the city level and at the universal level. So it's in every category except the prisons. We are non-existent.
Well, then, and so that brings me into the Hollywood vision of when we're talking about Nina Simone and Zoe Saldana. Gabrielle Union said it best when she said there's a lot of discrimination even in Hollywood as far as light skin against dark skin. And this is an example of it that it has caused so much uproar. So you have Zoe Saldana, fabulous, wonderful, beautiful actress. Does not fit the part though for Nina Simone. Nina Simone, dark skin, has all the full features of African American woman, and there's so many other women that people talked about could have played that role. And some of the comments I wanted to read to you that came off the internet was the fact that Zoe Saldana, they're saying, she doesn't understand race matters in this country, overlooks one of the reasons Nia is an icon. Her Afrocentric vibe is what makes Nia Nia. No disrespect to her mother, but the inside the house worldview is a fantasy. So what she's referring to is Zoe Saldana made a comment that she didn't really see color growing up. Her mom is Caucasian, and so color was not an issue. And she feels that, in fact, Zoe said, it's really about male versus female is what the issue is in society. And that does not trump the challenges of all of us, one human race. She focused on us all being one human race, and that shouldn't try to distract from the issue. And she was raised in a family that did not see color. So isn't that not ironic with Nina Simone, who, by the way, was this famous jazz and blues and R&B folk artist, right? Did not get into the top-notch school in classical music that she wanted to get into. It's a prestigious school called Curtis Institute of Music in Philadelphia. Didn't get in because of her skin tone. She was denied a scholarship. So she had to work at clubs and had to make money in order to pay for her way to school, and that's how she got into jazz, and then in the 1960s she got into civil rights. What's so ironic about that story, about this Curtis Institute of Music, they gave her an honorary doctorate 2 days after she passed away. So I'm thinking, okay, she received Grammy Hall of Fame in 2000. She was also 15 Grammy Award nominee, influenced by, and there's a lot of artists that are influenced by her, such as Lauryn Hill, John Legend. People recognize those names, Alicia Keys. So there are artists today that are influenced by Nina Simone, who had a very unique style and voice. And the problem was that the movie was just focusing on her relationship later on down the road with someone that didn't exist, according to her daughter Simone Kelly, who said that relationship was non-existent. So why does Cynthia, that's the name of the screenplay and director, want to focus on that? So there's this petition that went out by change.org, asking and requesting a replacement of the actress and also of the director. And so now you got Cynthia Mort filing a lawsuit with the production company. It's a mess. This has been going on in Hollywood for years. And that's what brought me back to the point by saying America still has the sickness of slavery where everyone has not healed from it. That's exactly my point. Because for it to still be seen that it's okay to darken this very light-skinned actress for this part when there's so many other actresses that could have played this role. Gabrielle Union, we can go down the list, right? Even Lauryn Hill herself, God forbid what state of mind she's in right now, but she could have played that role. She started off in acting. She has a real dynamic, she's really dynamic as an actress. Viola Davis, there's so many, Lupita Nyong'o, my goodness. So there's so many other actresses that would have fit that part. And Zoe Saldana fits many other parts, and maybe not this one.
The question is, what is the message that the person that's doing the hiring trying to get out there? Why do they want to put a person that don't represent, don't look like, don't have no characteristics at all to the person that they're trying to portray in a movie? And you have to go deep into the mindset. What message are they trying to commute to us or to the African American people in general?
Isn't that scary? Because isn't that the same thing that happened with James Brown? You had Spike Lee that was fired, promised that role of writer and director. And by the way, Spike Lee is known as the director that does all the autobiographies of, he did the Malcolm X. He stepped in to do Malcolm X because a studio was going to step in and again, not have any perspective from a black perspective on that movie.
So in Hollywood, what they're doing is a power play. You know, they can choose and pick and decide on whoever they want to put in whatever position, and there's no outcry. You know, there's no outcry.
And that's where the power of the purse can stop us in our tracks. That's the danger of that. Is when we don't have that, we don't have enough of that, or we don't have enough. I want to say enough black people that are focused on it, because you do have people in the NBA, you do have people, the Oprahs of the world, the Tyler Perrys that are doing their part, but the other folks that are not doing their part, that do have the money to be able to change that direction and change that mindset.
It's very bold to be from a different nationality, a different ethnicity, to come in and say, okay, I'm going to choose this person versus what we feel is best to represent us, okay? They choose what is best to represent us, and that's, to me, a wrong and a fallacy.
Mm-hmm. And so I'll leave it with this final comment as far as my comments in regards to Hollywood, which a blogger said, the Eurocentric ideas of beauty and color and intelligence have been systematically advertised throughout the world for over 100 years. To not be actively aware of this Eurocentric fallacy is to be actively advancing it. It is especially true in the field that you are in. So talking about Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And I think the field of American society, I think there's a lot of changes that we have to do for the healing process. A lot of people want to think that slavery is just a black thing. I'm feeling that it's not. I'm still on that it's an American thing. We still haven't dealt with it so that we can move past it and there can be healing. Mm-hmm. So as soon as we can move past the color issues, and I mean on a societal view where it's not a black or white, which is going to take a lot for us to get to that point, until there's equity in the dollars, equity in education, just like we talked about in the other prior segments, and equity even in Hollywood and entertainment. I think we're going to be stuck in this mode for a long time. And I don't like looking at the glass half full. But I have to say, this has been an ongoing conversation. We'll have to continue on another show. We thank you for watching ONME Sunday Mornings. My name is Julie Dudley Najieb, along with
Lennice Najieb.
We enjoyed our guest today, DJ Georgia Peach and D-Woodz. That was definitely a treat, hearing a younger perspective and also what's happening this generation. We hope you enjoyed this show and enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for watching ONME Sunday Mornings.
AMPTV is proud to bring you a combined effort of all the black media sources in the Valley on CBS 47, Sundays at 6 a.m., right before the CBS 47 news. Let us be your source for what's happening in the black community. Sundays at 6 a.m., right before the CBS 47 news.
AMPTV can now be watched on TV anytime through our Roku channel or on your computer online at amptvnow.com. Better yet, go mobile, live.amptvnow.com.